Session for the 33rd Guam Youth Congress is hereby called to order. I call on Representative Blas Tyrone to lead us in prayer. Please rise.
Kinani Tata Ilahinya Jani Espiritu Santo. Lord, we ask that you help us, each of us here today, to discuss policies that will help the youth of our island, that will better their lives, and that will end up doing your work too, to do good in the world, to spread love, compassion, and empathy, as well as kindness. Lord, we ask that you help us put our pride aside and really allow us to just discuss this to the best of our ability and to help us make the right decisions in the end that will better the lives of all of us who call Guam home. Together we pray, Tatan mami ni gai gihaw gilangit, umatuna inaan mo, umamaylay gobyet nomu, umafatinas ipentomo as igitano ko magilangit. Na iham pago nui kadahaan ni nagod mami, zaw na si iham nui diben mami, taigwihi inasisi idumidibiham siha, zat samo ham pumupulu, no infant basna kitantasyon, no nafan libraham gitaylazi. Amen. Si Diyos unganangi Maria bulahaw grasya, si Diyos kay gizahago, umatunahaw ang chitoras ifamalawan, sa matuna ifinanagomo as Jesus. Santa Maria ang Kamalin, tadzazutiham. Kinani Tata Ilahinya Jan Espiritu Santo. Amen.
Sizos Masi, I now call on Representative De Gracia to lead us in the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparting march were so gallantly strewn, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Sizos Masi, I now call on Representative Lagman to lead us in the Fanogi Chamorro.
Fanogi Chamorro, Puritanota, Kanta.
Sizos Masi, I now call on Representative Flores to lead us in the Inifrasi.
Inifresi, ini mastakilum gina soku, imastakalum di coraçonhu, jani mas figo nani nasinyahu, hu fresen mais sedzo, para by protehi, janhu defendi, I hinengi, I cultura, I linguahi, I airi, I hanum zanitanut samoru. Niren shaku diretsu gininas du ustata. Esu afitma gihilui Biblia. Zani banderahu I banderanguahan.
Sizos Masi, you may all be seated. Mr. Secretary, roll call, please.
Representative Bailey? Representative Bailey present. Representative Blas Tyron? Representative Blas Tyron present. Representative Camacho? Representative Camacho present. Representative Chung? Representative Chung present. Representative Common? Representative DeHelig? Representative DeGracia? Representative DeGracia present. Representative Flores? Representative Flores present. Representative Gale? Representative Gale present. Representative LeBang? Representative LeBang present. Representative Lagman? Representative Lagman present. Representative Chloe Lizama? Representative Chloe Lizama present. Representative Laurel Lizama? Representative Lorenzo?
Present.
Representative Lorenzo present. Representative Makepeace? Representative Matanani? Representative Matanani present. Representative Pareda? Representative Pareda present. Representative Perez? Representative Kichichu? Representative Kichichu present. Representative Ujoa? Representative Ujoa present. Representative Valencia? Representative Valencia present. Representative Villanueva? Representative Villanueva present. Representative Wang? Representative Wang present. Representative Yabit? Representative Yabit present. Madam Speaker, there is quorum.
Sizos Masi, Mr. Secretary, we will be going to a brief recess. We are back from recess. Representative Blas Tyrone, you're recognized.
Sijos Masi, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I move to approve the Legislative Journal dated May 1st, 2021.
Suzos Masi, Representative Blas Tyrone, there's been a motion to approve the Legislative Journal dated May 1st, 2021. Are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, motion carries. Representative Blas Tyrone, you're recognized.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, I make a motion to waive items 9 through 12 of the session agenda.
There has been a motion to waive items 9 through 12 of our session agenda. Are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, motion passes.
Sijos Masi. Madam Speaker, I move that bill number 14-33 be deemed to have its first reading.
Suzos Masi, there's been a motion that bill number 14-33 as introduced will be deemed to have its first reading. Are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, motion passes. Representative Blas Tyrone.
I make a motion that all members not present for today's session be excused.
Suzos Masi, there's been a motion that all of our representatives who are not present for today's session be excused. Are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, motion passes.
Sijos Masi, Madam Speaker. I move to waive items 15 and 16 on our session agenda.
Suzos Masi, there's been a motion to waive items 15 and 16 of our legislative session agenda. Are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, motion passes. We are now in motions. Representative Bailey, you are recognized.
I make a motion to place Bill 14-33 into the second reading file for discussion.
Suzos Masi, there's been a motion by Representative Bailey to place bill number 14-33 into the second reading file for discussion. Are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, motion passes. Representative Bailey, you are welcome to open.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good morning, everybody. Thank you all for being here. I'm not going to take up too much of your time with my opening statements, but I would just like to express my support for this bill. And I wrote this based somewhat on personal experiences from my own life. A person close to me got into some trouble with the law, and they would be the first person to admit their wrongdoing in this situation. But the crux of this issue is reflected perfectly by this anecdote because they didn't have the money to pay their cash bail. And this is something that I had to watch happen. They had to sit and await trial in a cell while their more affluent counterparts got to walk free. And I think that's a perfect reflection of the issue of cash bail, is that it disproportionately affects those who don't have the ability to pay their bail. And to me, it intrinsically disproportionately affects members of the working class while benefiting those who do have the ability to meet this requirement. And I don't think that any truly just justice system should ever discriminate freedom on the basis of socioeconomic status. Now, for any of those of you who have concerns regarding if people would still show up to trial if they didn't have the threat of penalty of bail, I point you to New Jersey, where 1 year after they instituted cash bail reform, their pretrial release rate was 94.3%. Now, after instituting this reform, court appearance rate rose from 89.4% to 89.9%. It rose. It had the opposite effect that people like to point to as a reason not to pass cash bail reform. There is no reason that something that, as California Governor Gavin Newsom famously said, exists only in the way that it does in the United States and in the Philippines. The rest of the developed world does not have this commercialized bail system as we currently have it. So I call on all of my fellow representatives today to join me in supporting this reform that could help so many people on this island that we all love. Thank you.
Suzos Masi, Representative Bailey, would any other representative wish to speak on the bill? Representative Camacho, you're recognized.
Good morning. Today, I will focus on how this legislation should not be passed because it is inherently flawed. When ruminating on your decision whether or not to vote for this bill, keep in mind these 3 points. First, cash bail serves 2 important and essential purposes in our justice system and in general in the justice system of the United States. 1, to protect the members of the public who might be at risk if the defendant would commit a crime again after they are released. 2, to assure a defendant's appearance at court as required. With this, the elimination of cash bail would lessen an important tool of the judiciary system, judicial discretion. Judicial discretion is important as it enables judges to have a myriad of choices. The less choices a judge is given, the increased possibility of a defendant not being released because there are no other guarantees that defendant will comply with his or her release condition. Because of this, the elimination of cash bail would further increase the jail population, which defeats one of the goals of this bill. On Guam, cases are generally assigned to the same judge. The judge gets to know the defendant and knows more than the members of the legislature of what works and what does not work in a particular case. It is the judges who directly face the criminals, not the members of the legislature. When you eliminate cash bail, you lessen the discretion of the judges, even though they are the best fit to ascertain a reasonable and just decision for that defendant. Second, the sponsor of the bill provides the example of how the abolition of cash bail can occur, as the Illinois House of Representatives has passed a recent bill abolishing cash bail, with such an act being already in effect in Washington, D.C. and New Jersey as well. Utilizing these examples to justify abolishing cash bail on Guam is unsound for 2 reasons. 1, we cannot compare the justice system of the mainland with that on Guam. No United States statistics, graphs, and data would be a solution to the unique problems that occur in our island. Therefore, we should not use the example of how Washington, D.C., New Jersey, and Illinois have abolished cash bail to corroborate how Guam should follow suit. Guam experiences its own unique problems. Thus, instead of looking to the United States as a way to construct and correct our justice system, we should be looking to the statistics, graphs, and data that pertain to our island, as it is the best way to solve the problems that occur in Guam. Additionally, Washington, D.C., despite eliminating cash bail in 1992, still has one of the highest crime rates in America and holds the title of being the United States murder capital. Third, when looking at the application of the elimination of cash bail on Guam, a problem occurs. The elimination of cash bail would actually be more of a detriment towards criminals that are not originally from Guam. This is because the defendants who are not originally from Guam are presumed to be flight risk without cash bails. Therefore, regardless of the defendant's crime, the judge would be more likely inclined to keep them detained. How is this promoting justice? The body here today, when constructing your decision on whether or not to pass this bill, remember to keep in mind these 3 points and the oath you took when you became a representative of this body to promote justice. Thank you.
Sizzle Smallsy, Representative Camacho. Would any other representative wish to speak on the bill? Vice Speaker LeBang, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise in support of the bill. First, ending cash bail places an end on the criminalization of poverty. Cash bail system affects the lower class and the middle class disproportionately. Furthermore, according to the Vera Institute of Justice, there is a 433% increase in the use of pretrial detention between 1970 and 2015. An individual awaiting trial is presumed innocent until convicted with finality. The Sixth Amendment guarantees the right of the criminal defendants, including the presumption of innocence. If an individual presumed to be innocent, they should not be imprisoned while waiting trial. Anyone who is not convicted should be afforded the equal rights under the law. I feel that it is also the due time to reform our justice system, and ending cash bail is a good start of it. We should have a justice system that is equal no matter how your socioeconomic status is. Ending cash bail provides equality for that. Because everyone is created equal and that everyone is equal before the law. That's all. Thank you.
Suzo Smasi, Mr. Vice Speaker, would any other representative wish to speak on the bill? Representative Flores, you're recognized.
Suzo Smasi, Madam Speaker. Yes, so this is a very comprehensive bill. I do support its intent. I do agree, as Representative Bailey stated very well, that we need to look at the disadvantaged in our community, those, whether it be economically disadvantaged or what. We need to look at the effects that our laws, our justice system is having on them, and of course, take steps to correct injustices that are occurring and provide better avenues for justice to be served. Madam Speaker, I just wanted to point to a particular section in the bill in considerance of concerns of the body may have about the court's judicial discretion, as was stated. As I understand, even with the passage of this bill, taking a look, if everyone can refer to, apologies, if everyone can refer to page 5, section 18, or I'm sorry, line 18, that is section 40.30, bail redetermination hearing when procedure. I'm sorry, Madam Speaker, just a second. That is not it. I'm sorry. Page 4, line 20. Section 40.20, bail conditions defined when not to be used. So it states, if I may read it, Madam Speaker, it says, where the judge determines that release of the person charged on his or her own recognizance will not reasonably assure his or her appearance as required, or will endanger the safety of any other person or the community, the judge shall impose the least onerous of the following conditions, which is reasonably likely to assure the person's appearance as required and the safety of any other person and the community. So that specific section, I believe, speaks to the judiciary's discretion. And it goes on. Or if no single condition gives that assurance, the least onerous combination of the following conditions. A, placement of the person in the custody of a designated person or organization, agreeing to supervise him or her. B, placement of restrictions on the activities, movements, associations, and residence of the person, which I believe is house arrest. Placement of the person under supervision by means of electronic monitoring. That one's self-explanatory. D, release of the person during working hours. E, require the person charged with family violence or violation of a protective order to undergo a lethality risk assessment or other risk assessments deemed appropriate by the judiciary of Guam. Or F, any other condition reasonably necessary to assure appearance as required and the safety of any other person and the community, with the exception of the imposition of any form of monetary or property-based bail requirement. So, Madam Speaker, I believe there's a wide range of options available to the judiciary through our existing legal structure, even with the passage of this bill, that the judiciary, that judges can exercise to ensure the safety of the community, whether that person is a flight risk. I'd also like to call attention to page 3, line 4, section 40.15, release on own recognizance defined when permitted. And it states that, again, the judge shall order the person charged to be released on recognizance unless the judge determines in his discretion, on the basis of available information, that such a release will not reasonably assure the appearance of the person as required or will endanger the safety of any other person or the community. So, Madam Speaker, I actually believe that this bill does the opposite and instead strengthens the judicial discretion of the court. And it ensures that those who are not a flight risk are not constrained by the justice system and possibly put into even more economic downturn, economic pressure due to their being in the court, in jail, I'm sorry. Yes, Madam Speaker, so I believe this actually augments the judicial discretion of the court by allowing the court to, again, say whether that person harms the community or not, or is a potential risk to the community. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Mrs. Osmasi, Representative Flores. Would any other representative wish to speak on the main motion of the bill? Madam Legislative Secretary, but you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just had a question for the main sponsor of the bill.
Representative Bailey, would you yield to a question? Yes. Yes, ma'am. State your question.
Yeah, so the bill, it's very detailed throughout. Representative Flores read out a lot of it, and I think, again, the intent is really there, but I was just wondering if you consulted with either people from the judicial branch, perhaps lawyers, or even DOC about what they would have input on in this bill.
No, ma'am, I can't say that I have had any specific contact with any of those people.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Mrs. Osmasi, Representative Bailey. Would any other representative wish to speak on this bill? Hearing or seeing that any other representative would wish to speak on Bill 14? Hearing or seeing none, Representative Bailey, you are welcome to close.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So I would like to take the time to close and just, again, reiterate my support for this bill and also respond to a couple of Representative Camacho's points, because I do think that she raised some very salient points that are absolutely worth talking about. So I'd like to begin by assessing the claim that ending cash bail would release dangerous criminals onto the streets or in any way put people at risk. Again, I point to Representative Flores' earlier statement where he pointed to Section 40, subsection 20, which states that the judge still has the discretion to release any charged individual on their own recognizance, unless they are obviously presumed to be a flight risk or a danger to themselves or others. So I think that that completely debunks this claim. And I would further like to point to how disingenuous it is to claim that all facts and data from other areas that have tried something are completely moot points. Guam's never done something like this. Guam has never ended cash bail, and therefore there's no stats, graphs, and data from Guam that we can point to specifically. Obviously, we have our own independent island. We have our own judicial system. We have our own issues. I don't say that New Jersey, DC, San Francisco, any of these places that have instituted something similarly, I don't say that these places are a direct reflection of my bill. I don't say that they will completely 100% guarantee that it will work and it will yield the same exact percentages, but I do think it's fair to point to the commonalities between our island and theirs and the effect that instituting this cash bail reform had on their system. I think it's fair to point to the fact that they had a 94.3% pretrial release rate. I think it's fair to point out that their court appearance rate rose from 89.4% to 89.9%, which again, I will point to as a rebuttal to the idea that this would increase Guam's prison population. I don't think that's the case. A 94.3% pretrial release rate, again, maybe we won't get that exact number, but I do think that that's a solid indicator. So again, I think that this is absolutely a step that we must take towards making our island a more equal and a more equitable place for everybody. I think that this is absolutely pertinent to making this happen. And again, I hope that my fellow representatives will join me in this fight for our island. Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you all for your time.
Mrs. Osmasi, Representative Bailey, do I hear a motion to place your bill into the third reading file for voting?
I move to place Bill 14-33 into the third reading file for vote.
Mrs. Osmasi, there's been a motion to place bill number 14-33 as introduced into the third reading file for voting. Are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, motion passes. Representative Blas Tyrone, you are recognized.
Madam Speaker, I'd like to make a motion to recess, for a brief recess.
Okay, thank you. We're in recess. The 33rd Guam Youth Congress is back from recess. Representative Blas Tyrone, you are recognized.
Sijus Masi, Madam Speaker. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to have second roll call reflect first roll call.
Sizos Masi, there's been a motion that our second roll call reflects first roll call. Are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, motion passes. We are now on item, the consideration of the daily file, the third reading file. Mr. Recording Secretary, please read the bill title.
Bill number 14-33 COR as introduced by Representative Bailey, an act to repeal and reenact Chapter 40, Title 8 Guam Code annotated relative to abolishing cash bail.
Sizos Masi, roll call, please.
Representative Bailey. Representative Bailey, aye. Representative Blas Tyron. Representative Blas Tyron, aye. Representative Camacho. Representative Camacho, nay. Representative Chung. Representative Chung, aye. Representative De Gracia. Representative De Gracia, aye. Representative Flores. Representative Flores, aye. Representative Gale. Representative Gale, aye. I apologize if I can't hear you, okay? Just, if I look at you, just give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. Representative LeBang. Representative LeBang, aye. Representative Lagman. Representative Lagman, nay. Representative Chloe Lizama. Representative Chloe Lizama, nay. Representative Lorenzo.
Pass.
Representative Lorenzo, pass. Representative Matanani.
Pass.
Representative Matanani, pass. Representative Pareda. Representative Pareda, aye. Representative Kichicho. Representative Kichicho, nay. Representative Ujoa. Representative Ujoa, aye. Representative Valencia. Representative Valencia, aye. Representative Villanueva. Representative Villanueva, aye. Representative Wang. Representative Wang, nay. Representative Yabut. Representative Yabut, pass. Representative Lorenzo.
Pass.
Representative Lorenzo, pass. Representative Matanani.
Aye.
Representative Matanani, aye. Representative Yabut. Representative Yabut, pass. Representative Lorenzo.
Hungan.
Representative Lorenzo, aye. Representative Yabut. Representative Yabut, nay.
Bill number 14-33 as introduced received 13 ayes, 6 nays, and 5 excused absences. Bill number 14-33 hereby passes. Representative, my apologies. We are now on brief extensions of remarks. Would any representative wish to be recognized? Representative Bailey, you're recognized.
I won't take up too much of your time, but I do want to thank everybody today, even those who dissented for this bill. I appreciated all of your input, and obviously this was my first bill, and this was a really, for lack of a better word, it was a cool process, and I enjoyed all of this. And again, thank you all for your time and your input.
Sizos Masi, Representative Bailey, would any other representative wish to be recognized on brief extensions of remarks? Legislative Secretary Yaput, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have a couple things during brief extensions. Firstly, I just wanted to remind all our representatives that representatives are required to sponsor legislation every 6 months or co-sponsor. If you're unsure if you've sponsored or co-sponsored anything, please refer to our Committee on Rules Chair, Representative Nolan Flores. Secondly, I want to congratulate all the graduates that we have here. I know Representative Bailey recently graduated as valedictorian of his class, which is very exciting. As well as Representative Naomi Grace Perez from the Academy of Our Lady of Guam and Representative Matthew Makepeace from the University of Guam. And lastly, I just wanted to say Happy Pride Month to everyone, to all our LGBTQIA+ community out there. Even during a global pandemic, I think love really does win, and there is so much to be proud of this month and throughout all the other months of the year. So happy Pride, everyone. Happy summer break to all our youth representatives and to all our youth watching. And this was a very great session, and I hope everyone has a great Saturday and weekend. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Suzos Masi, Legislative Secretary Yaput, would any other representative wish to be recognized? Representative Flores, you're recognized.
Sijus Masi, Madam Speaker. I'd just like to thank Representative Bailey for introducing this bill. You know, it's a very consequential bill that may have many potential effects on the justice system, our island, and of course, the demographics that it seeks to relieve from distress and restore justice to. I'd also like to thank my colleagues for the discussion, the great discussion on the bill, and as well as its eventual passage. I think an important function of the Youth Congress is that we do our part by introducing bills, by discussing them amongst ourselves, by reaching within our communities and asking them how they feel about certain measures, what changes they wish to see within the system, within our government, within our island, and then ourselves as elected representatives going through the law and seeing how we can best affect that change. And I think another great function is that once we have a bill, we may be split on it. We may be, it may be a very contentious bill that we discuss here, but we provide it to the legislature, we pass it, and we say, can you please, on behalf of the youth of Guam, this is of great concern to us, please look into this more, and you as the island-wide body of legislators review this bill and effect this change should the body deem it so. Suzos Masi, Madam Speaker.
Suzos Masi, Representative Flores. When any Representative Vice Speaker LeBang, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to reiterate Representative Flores and also Legislative Secretary Yaput. So in terms of bill writing, I'm open to helping anyone, and you can reach out to me at all times. And as well as I want to congratulate Representative Bailey for passing this bill and being the valedictorian of Guam High School. And yeah, speaking of criminal justice reform, and I think this is the first stepping stone for criminal justice reform here on Guam. And there are other things that we can do. And I just want to reiterate Judge Sekoda in her retiring speech that jail is not the answer, and we can work towards on reforming the system and considering other avenues instead of jail. And I just want to add on that sometimes people that come out from the judicial system, they tend to come back again because of lack of education, lack of opportunities they have coming out of jail. And it's something that we can all look forward and probably turn it into a bill. That's all. Thank you.
Suzos Masi, Vice Speaker LeBang, would any other representative wish to be recognized on brief extensions of remarks? Hearing or seeing none, we are now on announcements. Any representative wish to be recognized? Representative Blas Tyrone, you're recognized.
Sijos Masi, Madam Speaker. I just wanted to announce that on June 16th at 6 p.m., there will be a meeting to discuss changing Central Village names to Indigenous Chamorro names with Dr. Robert Underwood. So it will be held at the Tatuha Senior Center, which is just near the mayor's office. Sitos Maasi.
Sizos Mossy, Representative Blas Tyrone, any other representative with announcements? None? Okay, well, I have some. So on June 26, 2021, which is, I believe, on next session date, we will be having a GYC Beach Day. This is the first one of the term. We're really excited. We have some fun things going on with games with Mr. Vice Speaker, who will be planning our games. So please keep the afternoon open. It's probably going to be a potluck style, and details are to follow in the next week. Okay, thank you very much. Any other representative for announcements? Hearing or seeing none, Representative Blas Tyrone, you're recognized, sir.
Sitos Maasi, Madam Speaker. I'd like to motion to adjourn subject to the call of the Speaker.
Sizos Mossy, there's been a motion to adjourn subject to the call of the Speaker. Are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, we are adjourned. Thank you.